So maybe we could start with talking about what are some specific brainwave signatures that might show up when you're looking at a brain map that signals to you that sleep is something that we really need to focus on.
Yeah. Well, there's this interesting notion. I'm going to get a little meandery here, but I think it's important because there's no such thing as a good or bad brainwave. And actually, when we're awake, all of our brainwaves are present. And when we're asleep, our brainwaves are all present as well. So it's really, there's the cycles of sleep where different brainwaves show up. Within sleep, lots of people get excited about theta. A lot of people get excited about rapid eye movement, right? That's where dreaming's happening. And a lot of people are, I think, perhaps the most exciting brainwave when it comes to sleep is delta. And this is deep dreamless sleep. And you talked a little bit about neuroplasticity as we got kicked off and started on this. When we're in that delta deep dreamless sleep stage, we're actually releasing hormones that are reparative to our body. I like that kind of idea of defragging the brain, allowing for processing and learning and recovery to take place. So just like in the gym, yes, we need to strain our muscles, right? We need to do our curls or bench press or whatever we're doing to get stronger. But our muscles are actually built in the kitchen with what we eat and with how we sleep and how we hydrate. And the brain is actually really similar. We need to recover. And I think even how we fall asleep can impact. So if some of us are passing out in front of the TV, that's a different way than having that kind of steadily, nicely gliding into sleep where we're cycling through different brain waves. That allows us to think about unplugging the computer versus shutting it off and having the hard drive spin down, if you will. So to me, when we see people low in delta, that's concerning, especially with their eyes closed. There's different types of data we can look at. And with sleep, there's different pieces we'd have to look at. Is this a person that is having a hard time falling asleep? Is this as a person that's having a hard time staying asleep? Or is this a person that's having a hard time waking up in the mornings? And there's a lot of environmental factors to this that can be really impactful. I'm thinking of one gentleman that I recently was in Texas with, and he was drinking a drink that, no joke, and I could be exaggerating here, it's either 3,000 or 2,000 milligrams of caffeine in it. And it's 7 o'clock in the morning. We're driving over to an Air Force base. And I was like, man, because he has a hard time falling asleep at night. I was like, the washout or kind of half-life, if you will, of caffeine is, I think it's 50% every 6 hours or 4 hours. I'd have to look up the numbers. But if you start breaking that down apart, he basically had 500 milligrams of caffeine in his body at 7 o'clock at night still. So I think there's just so many factors that lead into sleep. And there was either a really recent article, I think I have it on my phone pulled up still, that looked at, it was super interesting. I loved that they did this. It's on PubMed. The effects of playing a computer game using a bright display of on pre-sleep, psychological variables, sleep latency, slow wave sleep, and REM sleep. But one of the things they looked at was the bright screen more impactful, or was it the fact that people are playing Call of Duty? Spoiler alert, which is a little counter to a lot of biohacking thoughts. It was actually the shooting game was more impactful than the bright screen, which to me is this indication that not just brainwaves, right? That's going to put us into more of a focused or even a flow state of kind of excitement, but also the nervous system, like sympathetic activation, which is mobilization of energy in the body. That's also very challenging for sleep. So if we haven't taken any breaks, haven't taken any time to exercise, and we're just jacked up and stressed out, it's unlikely that we'll be able to glide to sleep really easily. We might have a flood of thoughts or emotions or sensations because we haven't been attending to that during the day.